You don't need to be a member of the Socialist Party or the SWP or one of Chris Grayling's bogey groups to know that a single issue at the right time can have a huge impact. Trotsky called it the little lever.
The General Secretary of the Socialist Party. Brothers and sisters, comrades, we have had here today in London, even for those like ourselves who've been on many demonstrations, one of the biggest, specifically working class demonstrations in the history of this country.
Good afternoon, comrades. It's an honour to be amongst so many activists from so many fighting trade unions.
My name's Paddy Redden. I'm a convener for the Honda factory in Sweden.
Some people think I don't need it.
3.5 weeks ago, our annual conference voted overwhelmingly to ballot for action alongside the teaching unions. A vote which I believe was genuinely historic and marks the start of a serious, organised industrial fight back on behalf of thousands of workers and of our class.
PCS have had the strongest supported strike of any that we've had in recent years.
I'm really worried about my pensions and for the future of the country, and also my children's pensions if they come into the civil service.
It absolutely nails the lie of the government that people don't support the strike and our public sector workers don't do anything. They're not saying that now. There's queues at airports, job centres are closed and teachers are striking.
You are on the side of the bosses, and on the side of the freedom, it's a free of the organised working class striking together.
I see it as a collective action of working class people. This is working power.
This government is on a mission. It's on a mission to transfer wealth from working people to the rich.
200,000 applicants won't get a university place.
They talk about a feral underclass. Well, I tell you what, there's a feral overclass.
My name is and I'm the elected president of PCS, and I'm extremely pleased to have been asked to, on behalf of the National Shop Stewards Network, to chair this rally and march that's been called by the NSN on the eve of the 2011 TUC Congress.
Comrades, thanks to the NSSN for organising this tremendous turnout. And it shows, doesn't it, that the decision taken by the Democratic Conference of Shop Stewards organised by the NSSN last year to campaign against the cuts was the right decision.
Can I first of all congratulate the organisers in the NSSN for putting on this magnificent rally and the march and putting pressure on the TUC. Because we're going to spend the next 3 days in the TUC Congress discussing composite resolutions. Probably most of them will be agreed unanimously, but we all know in this room the key is turning the resolutions into action. And in that sense, I think you're meeting here at the defining moment for all of us in the trade union movement over the past period.
Yeah, I'm supporting the strike because at the end of the day, we believe that you know, in defence of our pensions, that we need to take this action. It wasn't taken lightly, and from me personally, you know, it's something that has, you know, griped with me in terms of having to do it, but, you know, at the end of the day, I had no choice. And if it's to be in terms of defending our pensions that's rightfully ours as public sector workers, then I had to do it.
Today is the biggest strike in British history, certainly for the last 30 odd years, possibly for 85 years since the 1926 general strike, because this government has declared war on ordinary people.
Good evening. Unemployment in Britain has reached a 17-year high.
Almost 1 million young people are now out of work, and that's a record.
They feel let down and defiant, marching from the northeast to London in their fight for jobs.
The NHS is not for sale. Just look there in my Facebook status. Why the government always tell us? No one stands for you. No one stands for me. We need a new mass workers party. Fight for jobs and education. Decent jobs with decent pay. Jarrow March is on its way. Decent jobs with decent pay. Jarrow March.
I'm on the march because youth unemployment is just ridiculously high. It's just under 1 million, but that's just people on job seekers. There's all of the people who are on like really crap jobs, uncontracted jobs. There's people who are on disability allowance, or rather who aren't on disability allowance anymore, and who are being forced to go on job seekers.
These government cuts are affecting young people particularly. Like 1 million people, youth unemployed. It's still going to be rising, and that's before the cuts have even truly happened yet. When these cuts happen, it's going to put more people on the scrap heap. Not just young people, ordinary working people, the older working generations as well. Elderly are going to be suffering. Projected numbers, thousands of them meant to die because of the rising heating bills, and we need to do something about it.
Well, let's talk more about youth unemployment in particular with Claire Laker-Mansfield, who works for Youth Fight for Jobs.
The problem is that governments across Europe, indeed across the world, are all taking measures to protect the rich, to protect the people who got us into this mess, and not to defend ordinary people. And that's what we're seeing in Britain. It's also what we're seeing in Greece, in Italy, in Spain, even in America. And that's why you've seen the mass movements that we've seen in the last year of people fighting back, people protesting. That's what Youth Fight for Jobs is all about. And we're going to be having a mass rally on the 5th of November when the Jarrow Marchers have finished their 330-mile hike, which is going to be calling for decent jobs, for the right to education, for a decent future for young people.
We will be your restoration. Fight for jobs and education. We will be your restoration. Fight for jobs and education.
It's a youth club that a youth should run to, but when the government cuts the government funds, increasing police power, why don't they just shoot us? Because if I'm honest, we're the real victims, born and brought up in a messed up system. You got a nerve if you're asking why we ain't got jobs when this whole empire's got what we want.
We'll take the cuts, we'll take them all, and wait for this regime to fall, but we won't do it quietly.
To provide young people with skills, the government should be investing in socially useful jobs. They could unroll a programme of public works, house building, for example. We've got millions of people on council house waiting lists who can't afford,
and they haven't got the money for that.
But they have got the money for it. They bailed out the banks. Why not nationalise those banks and take the money back and use that to provide jobs for young people? Use that to...
OK, let me just ask you, I'm going to put the allegations of Chris Grayling to you from this morning, that you're a front basically for the Socialist Party.
Well, I am a member of the Socialist Party, but the Youth Fight for Jobs is certainly not a front. We're supported by 7 trade unions nationally that represent 2 million workers in this country.
So he's broadly right. I mean,
no, it's not a front. It's perfectly democratic. It's perfectly above board. We're perfectly honest about it. And the reason socialists are taking up this issue is because it's a symptom of a capitalist system that is utterly corrupt, rotten to the core. And the reason no one can get jobs is because the banks collapse, is because the private sector's collapsed, and the government are attempting to make us pay for it.